Hello, people of the internet. My name is Shady Shadow, and let's talk a little bit about mental health awareness and Mental Health Awareness Week or month. I've heard it was just a week. I heard May is Mental Health Awareness Month. Let's do this now. That way we know, however it is, we hit it. So let's talk a little bit about what mental health is. It's basically something that we don't know much about. It's something that we think we do, but in all sense of word, we don't. And there's a lot of people that I know, there's a lot of people that are close to me who suffer through things like depression and suicidal thoughts. I've had close friends who have considered suicide as the only recourse or self-harm as their only recourse. And admittedly, there are times that I've gotten to that point, and this is the first time I've ever seen this, that I have done that before. There are times that I had thought, okay, the only way out of this is to inflict pain upon myself, and it's something that's not a joke. It's something that shouldn't be laughed at. It's something that is a serious situation, and there are times that I thought, okay, that's only recourse, and I had gone and immediately rushed to my friends to say, hey, you need to help me right now because I'm really going off the deep end. And it's not fun to admit. It's not fun to think about. It's not fun to talk about, but it's something we have to talk about because there's a lot of people out there who go through these issues and are not the lucky ones. They're not the people who have anybody to turn to, or they don't think they have anybody to turn to. When I go through those issues, when I had those issues with depression or had those thoughts about, okay, there's only one recourse and that's one recourse that you're never going to come back from, I had thought that there were nobody who I could go to. There is a sense of loneliness at that point in time, and even though you have friends all around you, you are in that frame of mind where you don't know that, you don't care to know that. It's just you have that thought process in your head and you don't think, you don't use your better judgment, and there you go. There are a lot of things that we do not know about depression and mental health, especially when it comes to gender differences. For instance, there have been many studies that have pointed out that men commit suicide more than females do, at least when it comes to statistics. And the reason why that is because females have a lot better support system to handle that, because with males, you seem to have this macho thing going on where, oh, you can't talk about your feelings, you can't talk about those emotions, you can't talk about things like that, to man up, to have that sort of macho-ness within you. And it seems lately those type of gender personifiers are what is killing discussion about this topic. Now, when it comes to me, I'm not as afraid to talk about what bothers me, what drives me to believe certain things. But when I was younger, I didn't really have that much of an outlet because I didn't really have that much of friends, if any. And it came to a point where you sadly got used to it. And keep in mind that I lived in a single parent household. I was in a household that didn't have much money. They didn't really have that much funds at that point in time, and it was a tough time to be able to live. But we got through it. It was something that we got through, but it is also something that will kind of toughen you up in a sort of way. But then when you go into a situation where you do get friends out there, that whole stretch of not really having him and having a better life for you, you don't want to go back to that. And that's where I was like, okay, I don't want to go back to that. I don't want to go back to that sort of mentality. And when you fear that you're going to go back to that sort of mentality, when you're going to go back to that sort of lifestyle where you don't have friends, you don't want to lose them, it's a bit worse, I do believe, from a personal standpoint. And I think that's that way with a good number of people as well, where they feel as though their life is suddenly falling apart. They feel as if they don't have any control over what happens whatsoever. They don't have control over their destiny or their fate or what have you. And the only recourse is to do something drastic that they might regret for the rest of their life, or that might kill them and will leave people saddened and wondering what happened. So earlier this week, PewDiePie posted a video where he mentioned a website called Talk Life. And what this is a app that you can download onto your smartphone. And if you're feeling as though your life or something is going completely off the rails for you, and you really need somebody to talk to, and you feel like you don't have anywhere to turn to, this is the place. This is the place you have to go to, or something like it, to where you can talk to somebody about what's bothering you, and they will listen. Regardless of what it is, they'll listen. And they'll have people who have the same issues that you do to say, hey, we've been through it. We've been through that, and we know what it's like, and we can help you through it. And I can't say that I am a expert of this app. This is the first time I've heard about the app. But if it's something that you believe is going to help you, then by all means download that, and I'll post a link in the description below this video. There are a few other things you can watch. There are some things that I have done. I've done Anxiety Shadowcast. There's one that has Aura Peachy, Luna TK, and Brian Delphin in it that we talked about introversion, extroversion, middle version, or the fear of being alone, and PTSD, which is another form of anxiety that many people know about, but not many people know about. And then I have another one in which I talk to Gala Moon, and we talk about those types of issues as well. Those are to show that there are people in this world that have the same issues as you do. We all know what it's like, and we can help you through it. And there's always somebody you can talk to. Now, if you are one of those people who have seen one of your friends or maybe a family member that seems to have been going through some tough times, and you're seeing warning signs that maybe something's not right, don't hesitate to ask them what's going on, and don't be afraid to push it. Don't be afraid to say something. Don't be afraid to talk to somebody, because maybe that's what they need. They need somebody to talk to. They need somebody to tell them, hey, we're here for you. And don't just ignore when you see somebody having a real difficult time if they're not acting the way that they usually do. If they are having a day in which they're not being happy and joyful, and they're going through some panic issues or whatnot, pull them aside or say, hey, is there something wrong? Do you need to talk to somebody? And maybe that's what they need. And I can't guarantee it's going to be completely perfect about how that ends up going down. But at the end of the day, this is something that affects all of us. Because what if that person is on the end of the rope and you are the one person that saves them by just saying, hey, you need to talk? You need a friend? You need somebody to talk to? There are several suicide prevention hotlines. I'm going to list a few of them down below in the description in this video. And that Talk Life app, I'm going to link the website to it in the description below this video as well. Please don't hesitate to talk about your own situations with depression and anxiety and panic. Maybe in the future I might do another one of those shadowcasts which talk about anxiety and depression, because there's a lot more people who you might never think in a million years would suffer through something like that. Or maybe they want to make people aware that that is something that affects them, and maybe talking to somebody else who experiences that, or maybe somebody who can tell them it's okay, that we know what you're going through and you don't have to feel as if you're alone in that regard. Maybe that's not only a chance in order to gain friends, in order to gain some understanding, but and also to heal. Maybe that's something that they need in order to get over their depression, get over their anxiety, to get over something like that. It's not just something to show that they are going through it and they want to tell you that they are going through it. It's to show that you're not alone, that some of these people who you might have seen on a YouTube video or on a Twitch stream, or somebody who you might be a friend of, who you might be a fan of, goes through the very same things that you do. And maybe that is something that might help you, might help them in order to air out their situation. And hopefully by being with me on those podcasts has helped them to deal with some of those anxiety situations, and maybe it has helped them just by talking about them. And hopefully that we can continue to do stuff like that, and I would love to do something like that. But if you have known somebody, or you are somebody who is dealing with depression or suicidal thoughts or something along those lines, please don't hesitate to contact somebody. Please don't hesitate to talk to somebody, because you never know who you have as a friend. You never know whether that person needed you to talk to them in order for them to realize that, hey, it's going to be okay. And maybe that's all they need. need. And as a final word of advice, you are worth it. Regardless of what's been going on in your life, there is somebody you can turn to. There is somebody you can talk to. You are worth it. You are all welcome members of not only my community, but in any community that you feel as though you want to be a part of. Those people who are watching my channel, who are watching everything I do on YouTube and Twitch, you know full well that I appreciate every single one of you guys, and you guys are so worth it. You guys are my lifeblood, and I hope that I have helped you in a way that makes you appreciate who you are as human beings, because you are definitely worth everything. Until next time, stay safe. My name is JD Shadow, and that just happened.
Short steps, deep breath, everything is alright. Chin up, I can't step into the spot.